Hey, I'm back and let's do some Reassess Your Chess 4th edition. We're going over a game between M. Ricos versus C. Bal Gun in Her Lion 2007. And so this is a pretty recent one. It's like 10 years old, but it's still, for the most part, that's pretty recent of a game. So let's start off. We're gonna be going over basically the knights. Remember we talked about last time knights and bishops. So let's see. They do like a modern opening, and so what they're trying to do is develop their knights first, and then attack in the center. G3, D5. So if you notice that black is taking their claim in the center, and white is getting ready to develop on the side. So if you attack if you're attacking the center, or if your opponent attacks on the side, you attack in the center. That's just the rules of in Battle of War how it works. And so what white's planning on doing is go bishop g2, get his side attack going, and then at the right time thrust an attack for black in the center. So Jeremy Silman says, if you're able to get a strong center, hold it. If your opponent gets a strong center, break it. That's what he says. So let's see if white can stop black's really strong hold in the center. So let's continue onward. E6. Oops, sorry. Bishop G2. E6. It's kind of interesting. They did a kind of weird. It's a King's Indian. It looks very similar to somewhat of a French, but it's actually the King's Indian. So it's kind of odd. And then the castles. So what they did is, I think it was Yasser Seirawan said that he called this the fortress opening, which you can castle in 4 moves. You make it so that it looks like a fort. This, you have your knight, bishop, rook, and then you castle, and you then now are going to start into a middle game, and you can last a long while with this type of a structure. So that's what white's planning on doing. White wants to get castled, and white wants to, at this point, hit really hard in the center. White wants to do bang bang, develop his knight. He might even play here, bishop over knight, and then smack in the center. But he's got to be very careful. Even though he castled really early. The only problem with castling early is that now your opponent knows what side you've castled on, and so they may castle on the opposite side, or they may start flinging their pawns down on that side to attack you. So sometimes I castle early. Sometimes what I do is I wait to see which side my opponent's going to castle on. Then I castle either that side or the other side. So that's what I was kind of taught as well. So BD2. And black also knows that white's going to have a kind of a little hard of a problem getting his structure going because of how strong black's center is. It's like a wall. It's going to be a little bit before white can actually break in the center. So black's using that time to his benefit. And exactly that white knows that White can't play e4 because of takes, and then takes. So what white does is white wants to attack on the queen side. White wants to get a initiative or get going, because he knows that black is kind of moving pieces around, not fully dedicated to the center. Black, if you get that kind of feeling that black really doesn't know where they want to go. It's like, do I go here? I mean, do I go on this side? Do I go in the center? Do I go king side? Do I go queen side? Where do I play? You have to have a plan. You have to make a decision. If you're going to attack in the center, make sure that your ideas are all about the center. Don't let this attack here just crumble your central control. And black's now got to be very careful, because when he moved e6, this bishop now has humongous scope. So if this takes, there's a discovery. If this pawn takes for that pawn, there's a discovery on the rook wherever the knight moves. So you got to be super duper careful. And black solves that problem with bishop to b7. C takes d, e takes d. So what happens here is white accomplished their goal. Yes, they traded a side pawn, but remember, they broke black's center. Black's center is now in it no longer has the fortification that it once did. It's now yes, there's two pawn islands. Both sides has two pawn islands, but it would have been so much better if black would have been able to hold his structure like this. He was like totally dominating the center. Now white has the ability later on of going e4 and totally wrecking black's center control and getting a pawn in the center. So it looked like at first white didn't have anything going for them, but all of a sudden black just let a couple moves go by, and now white's in the power seat. White has the castle king, which is safe. They also traded off one of their side pawns for a center pawn, which is stellar. And now they have the ability to break anytime they want. When they go rook to rook e1, and then they can break right there if they wanted to. They can go knight attack there. There's a whole bunch more than white has than black at this moment. And this is only move 7 of all things. Now you get to see how powerful, if you don't have a plan, you don't hone down on that plan, you get to see in 7 moves you're in trouble. And black's in a slight amount of trouble. Knight c3, bishop e. Yeah, black's now like they're scurrying to castle. Like I've seen that there's a problem coming. e4. I better get my king safetied. I better get castled. And so white gets kind of like if you think about it, a free move, because he knows that black's gonna castle. So now white gets to do a move, black castles, and then he has a move. So white's in control at this moment. Slightly in control, not hugely. So he goes e4, crunch, 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 crunch. E takes d4, and d takes e4. Now, like what we talked about, white has their goal, has what their idea was. They control the center, because they control here, and the only piece that would pawn that'd be able to stop that would be c4. And now if you look at it, white has a pawn majority on the king side. His pawns are more advanced, his development is a lot smoother, and yes, black's gonna castle, but yeah, what did you accomplish at that point? Really nothing. So knight c5, black's gonna have to, black knows that if they don't trade down, they're gonna be steamrolled by white with this pawn right here. It's gonna be like, if you've seen one of those big things with the wheels that go like this, and and then whatever's in the front of it, it just smashes as it goes. That's kind of what would happen to black if black doesn't get his pieces unwound. He's going to be totally destroyed in a matter of time, a little bit of time. That's why black's trying to attack this pawn and trade off the queens, because the queens, if they get traded off, black has a really good chance of surviving, but if these queens stay on the board, there could be a problem for black. He can't allow white to dominate the position. At this moment, white has more of a domination in the center because of his pawn on e4. So we got to remember that. If this happens to you as black, try to trade off pieces. Trade off the queens if you feel kind of like you're under fire or under pressure. Make sure that you're not trading off, though. Make sure you're not feeling uncomfortable for that. You're just you're concerned, because in this situation, white's pawn is now being attacked twice. So actually 3 times. My bad. So this pawn will fall after the trade here. So black has a potential to win a pawn. But still, if you think about it, his king is not castled. So sometimes sacrificing one pawn is okay if you can get a huge attack. And let's see what happens on this. D4. White instantly, he wants to target C6, and he also wants to go for F5 to go after the weak G7 pawn, and also to fork the queen and the bishop. It also allows, if this was to happen, this unlooses a protectorate on the bishop. So if something like takes here, 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 you can bring a rook over and then play there, maybe something like that. You know, you might even be able to play rook to e1, protecting it, then smashing it down the board. He might even be able just to push e5 right at this moment. I mean, after black moves, and then his pawn is still safe. He still has the idea of these 2 squares as well. So white, you're getting to see how white is slowly maneuvering and taking their advantage to the extreme. Black castles, which black sees we're in big problem here. We got to get our king safe. So now white has a move, and like we said, an exclam, e5 exclam. Now the pawn, now there's a double attack happening. There's an attack on bishop takes bishop. Bishop's attacking the bishop here. Pawn's attacking the knight. So this is a stellar idea of how the attack's coming down on black. This is a game that we should look to as an example of, for black, make up your mind and implement your position. If you see white that castled, make sure that you know what you're doing, because they're castling for a reason, to get their king safe and to get a position like this here. Okay, bishop takes G2, king takes G2, knight D5, knight C6, kerplunk. There it is. White accomplished their goal. The Godzilla knight is in power, and it's ready to bring. It's ready to happen. It's ready to bring the solidification of all of his pieces into the way he wants it to be. He's got a deep center pawn. Remember, he's the only one that has a center pawn. He's got a pawn majority. The pawn majority is more advanced. It cramps black's pawns. So he can even play, if he needed to, f4, protecting this humongous chain. Black's in a pickle. And if black doesn't watch it and get going, he's going to end up very sad. It's going to be a sad game. And we want the game to be happy. That's supposed to be a joke. My bad. Okay, B takes. Alright, e8. They're going after this knight here. It's attacking here, here. So, what to do? What to do? Huh. Let's see. d5, which now attacks here, protects, and attacks there. The white wants to keep his knight, keep their knight as strong as it can, because you're thinking, what about a rook comes over? Yeah, but then white can retreat back, and they still got control of the knight. This knight here is cramping the center of black, and black is now feeling the tension of these three pieces being in the center. It's not fun when you are under this type of a squeeze, and black actually makes a question mark mistake here because of his uncomfortability of the position. Black needed to settle down, look at the position, and play correctly, but he doesn't. He plays king to h8, which is a question mark. What does that do? What does that do for the position? The queen, yes, is pinning the back here. Yes, the queen's pinning the pawn. So what? What is it? What's going on here? That doesn't have anything to do with the center. Doesn't have anything to do with dealing with the knight. Doesn't have anything dealing with the queen. Doesn't help develop his pieces. He is totally unprepared, and then he gets frustrated and flustered and plays the question mark move, king to h8. So be careful with how you play, because you don't want to make these small inaccuracies that your opponent can take advantage of. See, it may not be a waste that we look at it, but it's a waste of a move. Every move when you're in this type of a position here is important. Black should have been thinking about getting rid of the queen or going after this pawn, something. But black didn't see the danger that's basically going to be happening here pretty soon, and it isn't fun one bit. Bang! The bishop now just hammers right alongside. Every piece of white's is starting to come to life. Black's king is offside, doing who knows what. And so white used that move, the tempo, loss of tempo, to excellence. And we're going to see how white's knight will basically be the hero of the game. And you'll get to see how this happens. f5. You know what? Black's like, white's like, really? Come on. Do you think I'm going to impasse my... You really think I'm going to do that and allow you to get uncramped? Really? He goes, you can push that pawn. I'm just going to go f4. And with f4, the pawn is solidified. His position solidified. Nothing can be done. This knight is staying there forever because there's only one piece attacking it and there's one piece defending it. This is a problem for white. I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, but this is bad for black. And black, think about it. White castled. White White took a lot of moves. Castled early in the game. He used the extra moves that it would take black to castle, and he implemented a plan of central domination. And that's what he's doing right now. He's dominating the center, and black is not happy. The reason he moved, now you see why he moved, was to play f5. But really, let's go back. Yes, f5 does something, but what? You just helped white play f4. Now White's saying thank you. You wasted another move. F5 was a waste of another move. Yes, it branched out some attack on the king side, but think about it. What is the weak side on black? The king side. So black should be looking to attacking on the queen side, defending the king side, and then go for an attack on this queen side, because this is where his pawn majority is, on the queen side. White's pawn majority is on the king side. He already has a passed pawn. See, f5 allowed for a passed pawn. Not just a passed pawn, but a protected passed pawn, which really is scary in this type of position, because it's 3 moves away from queening. It's not right here. It's right here. It's in black's hometown. And if black doesn't watch it, this pawn will be the bane of his existence. This knight is wonderfully placed, and so let's see how we continue onward and upward so that we can learn from this and not have it happen to us. He goes G8, which more than likely he's probably going to want to play G5, undermining the pawn structure. AD1, which if bishop takes, then you could, if they needed to, play queen takes, rook takes, and then get this guy going up the board. And it's also a semi-closed position, because knights are better in a closed position too. So maybe this bishop wants to trade itself off for a knight to get to a wonderful knight versus bishop endgame. So bishop f8, and so this is really interesting. D8. They're going to trying to go to f7, which would win the queen, because the only way to stop mate would be to take, and so this is not feeling too good for black. For black. So wait a second. Where did I do bishop? Okay, f5, f4. Let me see. Okay, d5, a, f, there, g, f, d. It says rook take. Oh, rook takes knight. That's right. Queen takes knight. Rook. Sorry, queen takes rook. The queen goes to a4. Bishop takes c. Bishop takes c. And queen d2. Protecting that. Still got a passed pawn. E4. Check. And rook to f3. And here black resigned here, because this passed pawn is a protected passed pawn now. This rook and this queen are just dominating the position. So white has all the development. He's an extra piece up by 2 pawns. He's 2 pawns up, and he just got plowed over by white's pressure in the center. He played 2 moves that really didn't accomplish anything, and it costed him 2 major tempos, which was he played king to h8, which was the question mark, and he also did f5, which is I understand the idea is he's trying to undermine the e5 pawn, but think about it. Would you cash in by taking here when black blissfully gave you a pass pawn? I wouldn't do that. I would do exactly what they did. F4, make a huge chain, and the only way to stop mate back here, or losing a queen, was to take. So white had everything in control. And if you notice, the one piece that really harmonized everything was the knight. The knight sacrificed itself for basically a rook. He won the rook. Now it's his pieces. He's sitting aside saying, guys, I did it for the team. Now it's your turn to make my life accountable, or worth the sacrifice. And of course, black sees that his position's hopeless. There's some chance that you could play on, but really, what does what does black have that would compensate him for the loss of the rook? Nothing. White has all the play, and with that, that's what the resignation was all about. And so black should have been worried about the knight. And by the way, if anyone would like to play, I want to play you guys. So please put your name in if you want to play. I know there's a lag. So I should have said that before we even began, that I'm throwing out the ability to play against me. So just let me know, because what we're going to do, and you got to see, we're just going to go through it one more time just slowly while I'm waiting. If you notice, see right here, critical point, castling. That move, not so good. Should have played probably played bishop d5, d6, sorry, then castled. Got that idea going. Later on, he could have played b6. Also, b6 allowed this type of a scary situation to happen. So remember, I'm just taking a little time here because I want to play one of you guys. Okay, so send a thing out there. I wanna. Then we can analyze the game afterwards. And so takes, and white was able to get this center pawn here is huge. It came in. Ideas coming either here, sorry, here or here. Go after that. Castled, and the knight came into the spot it needed to. Queen, and then this move right here. That move again, waste of time. And then with that, white took advantage of the weakness of this square here, the trapping of the king with the rook. So, anybody want to play? Okay, let's try. I'll let you guys think. I'll try one game here, and then put in if you want the next game, because I want to face one of you. Huh. Didn't want to play. That's strange. We'll go another shot. Let's see. There we go. The exchange French. Boom. See how we're developing right now? Next, we're going for bishop to f4. I'm trying to get an attack going on the queen side. That was a mistake. It's gonna fill that tomorrow. There we go. Pop. I'm bringing my knight in now, and I'm gonna play. Oh, interesting. So he wants to play there. Nice. I thought maybe I should have taken with the pawn. That would have blocked my bishop, though. I didn't want to do that. I'm not gonna play. Right here. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Let's take the knight. Jumping right on in. Now I'm going for his weak pawn here. Let's see now, what can we do? What can we do? Do. I'm going to try to get my rook over here or double up, either one. Okay, I'll get the double. That's nice, thank you. Yeah, this will actually win me a piece. I get to win a piece now. So that move won me a piece. I think the game is won at this point. If I'm not mistaken, this should be a one game right now. Let's see. Do I want to trade off? Let's see. I'm gonna trade off queens because I want to get rid of this queen because it's the problem. That's the only problem piece. If I can get rid of her, I'll be safe for a lot of attacks. Okay, let's see. Let's attack the queen. Let's see if we can trade off, because this cuts the queen off from going anywhere. Yeah, oops, there goes the queen. And there's the game. Yeah. See how if you have a plan, yeah, you could really take advantage of the situation. Like that was an excellent plan. I think I faced this guy before. I think it was a couple nights ago I lost to him or this player, and I was able to take advantage of the knowledge that I learned prior from these games that I played, won or loss, and I was able to find out how to set up a proper idea. So let's see, what do we got here? Let's go over this game. This is an interesting game. Okay, it started out kind of it was the exchange, the French exchange. He kind of played pretty awkwardly in the beginning. So I castled, I protected everything, attacked there, developed, brought my rook over, forced him to act. Then that was a question mark. That was the start of the lose right there. Then I snapped that off, brought my knight in. He took. At this point, this was a critical juncture. Should I have taken with the pawn? That is a interesting idea here. So if I had taken, his knight would have to move. So let's say he moves. Say he moves here to attack this pawn. Now I have e3. So now let's say takes. Let's say he attacks here, right? So I'm up a pawn at this moment. So let's see if we could. I'd probably play right here because I want to double up. And then if he plays here, it takes. Yeah, you don't want to take yet. You want to. I was wrong on that one. You take here, then here, and here, and here. Now we come down to where I have a better pawn, a better exchange. I'm up 2 pawns. This pawn structure is weak. So let's turn on the computer analysis thing and see what it says. Opening middle, and then we'll see while it's analyzing the game. Wow, look at this. Look at all this. Excuse me. Let me see. G5. Oops. G5. So that was the idea. Bishop E was inaccuracy. So slight inaccuracy there on my part. C4 mistake. Interesting move. Let's see. So D. And this is what 16. So I made a couple mistakes. Well, I know I'm cutting it short, guys, but if anybody wants to play, they need to do it now because I do have a little more extra work I have to do today that I brought home. So that's why I kind of got on a little earlier. Was I wanted to I wanted to play one of you guys and then teach you a lesson from reassess your chess, show you how knights and how it's not always about what it looks like at the beginning, it's the end result that happens. Anybody want to play? I'll give you 2 minutes to decide. So let's see, where is this time? Okay, we'll start the 2 minutes now. Okay, at 11:21. If nobody plays, I gotta log off. But I'll play one game with one of you guys. And we'll go over it. I'll even take a little more time and we'll go over it. Okay? Because I wanna play with you guys. Okay. Well, I know you want to play a game, but I was wondering if another player would. Well, I guess I could try. Give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Why not? Oops, get out of there. Let's see. How do I do this? I play. Create a game. Rated. Hold on just a second. I need to AFK. Oh, playing as a friend. Gotcha. I know, I'm doing that right now. I'm doing okay. All right, guys. I got you. Do the play of the friend, and we're going to do it right now. We'll play Chess Cruncher. One second. Let me just do this. Then I can. Copy. Yeah, you have to get an account. You don't have an account. There is no, unless you have an account, you can't do it. I will get one. Okay. Tell me when you got one. But I found it interesting, guys, that how a position can go from bad to really worse and no time flat, which that's what happened with White. I mean, White was able to. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. You gotta watch for those trapping of pieces. We'll do one more, and then I gotta log off. Make you think twice. And if you'd like, you could turn off the comments. Ooh, interesting. Nice. This is from actually a game. It's a 2200 level player. I forgot their names. It was actually in the European Cup. This is kind of how it was set up. Ooh, they're locking down the position. Gotta like that. Let's get some Harry going. I think that's gonna move. Hoping so. Excuse me. Now you can see the power of the London system. But yeah, see how I'm planning my whole attacks on the king side, yeah. Hmm. I try to go for an attack. Yeah, you have to go for the underbelly. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice some stuff. There was a move sequence back a little bit. Well, we're gonna go back here. I'm gonna show you. I think there's a faster mate. Okay, there. When you played here, I think I could have played actually here, here. Good game. Here, and I think there. Here. Okay, no, that wasn't fast mate. So I did the right mate. What if I would have played here? And you can move there. There's me. Okay. With that, guys, good game, guys. Good game, Common Law. We learned a lot from that, and I want you to continue to keep learning, guys. And when you guys want, next time I come on, put your name in, please. And I promise I'll face you after our lesson if you do, because that'd be really cool. And then we can go over and have some fun. Well, as Wesley Shaw would say, serve the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember that, guys. It's important. And as I say, guys, always, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a great night. And remember, if anybody was on that likes what they see, click follow. And remember, keep training in the nights. Nights are important. Bye-bye, guys.